This is When You Were Everything, pages 7 through 11. A theory and a snowman. A theory is an idea that you think is true, but it needs to be proven and tested. And a snowman is a person made out of snow. When the train finally shows up, it's so crowded that I end up smashed into a corner between a stroller and the doors, and the guy in front of me is wearing a backpack he refuses to take off. One of the buckles is pressing against my chest. I want to growl at this guy, to put his bag on the floor. To growl would be like to yell at him. For everyone to give me some space, but I don't, because I don't do stuff like that. If Layla were here, she'd tell the dude off, which means she would yell at him. But she isn't, I shout inside my head. For goodness sake, stop torturing yourself. So I imagine a clean sheet of paper. Mentally, in my mind, I start making the list I need to rid myself of thoughts like these. The steps I need to take to rid myself of Layla for good. The systematic way I'm going to unhaunt my whole life. I get off a few stops later when we reach Layla's station, the one where she would hop on the train every morning and find me. I would always sit in the first car, so she would know to walk to the front of the platform to wait. When the train pulled in, I would look for the smear of her black hair or the blur of her hand as she waved at me. We met and rode to school every day that way. I follow the flow of bodies toward the stairwell, push my way through the turnstile and step out onto the sidewalk. This turnstile might be a word to look up, to Google it and get an image of, but it's a machine that keeps people from going in and exit at the subway station. I slip my earbuds back in place, put on Ella Fitzgerald, and look left and right, making sure no one knows me is around. The coast looks clear. When the coast is clear, that phrase means that when it's safe. So it's safe, so I turn my music up, cross my fingers, and keep moving. Something about skipping school makes me feel like I'm actually in control of my life. I walk down Layla's block, taking in all the familiarities of the street, the way the door to the bodega or grocery store on the corner doesn't close all the way, the ragged or not new, old, rainbow flag hanging from the fire escape of the building beside hers. The same yellowed flyer's been taped in the window of the deli advertising their new kosher salami since I was 12. Kosher is a way of preparing food according to the Jewish religion, and salami is a type of meat. We always got popsicles at the bodega in the summer. We challenged each other to jump and touch the hanging threads of that flag whenever we walked past it. We never tried the salami, but we would get sandwiches and 99-cent Arizona iced teas at the deli almost every time I slept over. If it was warm out, to sleep over means to sleep at someone else's house. If it was warm out, we'd eat on Layla's stoop. A stoop is the front stairs to someone's building. I keep walking, past Layla's building and into the park where we first met. Its lawn is wide and a little green, even though it's February. The grass is dusted with snow, and it's still falling fast. I go to the exact spot where I was sitting the day I met Layla. The exact spot where she saw me crying about Gigi and where she started singing to make me feel better. And I text my dad. "Daddy-o," I said, "you're off today, right?" This Daddy-o is a throwback to the time of the music that she's listening to. She's listening to old jazz music, and Daddy-o was a phrase that people used to use back then. His response comes almost instantly. "Yep." "Can you meet me?" "Cleo? Daddy?" "You better be on your way to school." "Not exactly." Sigh. I start typing another response, but then my phone starts to vibrate with a call. "I fell on the subway station," I say to him instead of hello. It's a low blow, but I'll say whatever I need to get him here. The trains were delayed, and my leggings are ripped, and it's snowing, And you know how the snow reminds me of Gigi. I just had an awful morning, okay? Please don't give me a hard time about this, Daddy. Not today. Please don't yell at me about this, Daddy. Not today. He sighs, long and low. Cleo, this seriously has to be the last time. If it isn't, I'll have to talk to your mother. I gasp. Et tu, Brute? This is a phrase from a Shakespeare play, and it means, this is Latin, and it means, and you, Brutus? And this is Caesar, as he's getting stabbed, looks at his best friend and who just stabbed him and says, and you too, Brutus? You're a traitor also? My dad knows almost everything about Layla, and that I have been skipping school to avoid her. But as long as my grades don't slip, he lets me get away with pretty much whatever I want. My mom's another story. This is the last time, Cleo. I'm pretty sure it's an empty threat, so I grin. It will be, I promise. Now can you meet me? Where are you? He asks. He arrives about 20 minutes later. I grabbed a cup of coffee for him and a tea for me from the cafe across the street while I waited. So as soon as I spot him, I run over and push the steaming cup into his gloved hands. Oh, honey, he says as soon as he sees my leggings. He straightens his glasses and pulls me to him. He plants a kiss on my forehead, and his bristly goatee tickles my eyebrow. Bristly is rough, and a goatee is a type of beard. It's just around the chin and mustache. Why did you want me to meet you here? You should have just come over. I want to build a snowman, I say, hating that I sound like a 5-year-old. Correction, I need to. He makes his librarian face, an expression of both confusion and intrigue. Intrigue means curiosity, like he wants to know what she's saying. He makes this face when he's cautiously interested in or fascinated by a book, an idea, or a person. I've seen him use it with patrons or people at the library, where he works when he's asked a particularly strange question, and as he reads articles on his tablet in the mornings. Since he moved out a few months ago, I've seen this face and him a lot less, but it's still so recognizable that I grin at his eggshell brown skin and dark freckles, his wide, scrunched-up nose. A snowman, he says, and it's a statement and a question all at once. Yes, I say, I have a theory. He purses his lips to stop himself from smiling. That means he presses his lips together. And I know what this expression means, too. He has no idea what I'm about to say next. Okay, he says. He puts his heavy arm over my shoulders. Tell me. We start to walk, strolling or walking slowly, past people walking dogs and coats and nannies pushing strollers. A nanny is like a regular babysitter, someone who takes care of someone's kids while they're working. Snow is still falling and everything around us feels a little magical and unreal. I inherited my dad's freckled face, his poor eyesight, and his dreaminess too. He never rushes me to speak because he knows what it's like to be easily distracted, what it's like to get lost inside your own head. I think, I say, that I need to make some new memories. I think that if I make enough new ones in the right places, not being friends with Layla anymore will hurt a little bit less. My dad sips his coffee. I look across the park at the tall trees and beyond them to where Layla's walk-up or building sits beside the bodega, the deli, and the fire escape, and my breath catches. If I could erase this whole block from the city, I would. And these new memories, Daddy says, they start with a snowman in this park? I nod. This is where I met her, remember? At that cookout, right after Gigi died. A cookout is when you grill food out on a grill in the open. But if we do something else in this exact spot, like build a snowman, maybe that will be the first thing I think of when I come here, instead of her. Ah, he says, something like sadness passing over his features. I understand. We build a snowman. When we're half done, I throw a few snowballs at my dad, and he laughs and dodges them, making his own between searching for stones and sticks to put finishing touches on our creation. As we roll and pat and press the snow into new shapes, I pray that my memories are just as malleable or changeable as the snow in my hands. Hopefully my past is as rewritable as I'm pretending it can be.